quite often we have experiences in our life and we don't acknowledge what we're going through. It weighs heavy on the heart, and then the mind is constantly trying to get a solution. And then the body is just literally this vessel that follows through what the heart and the mind is communicating back and forth to each other.
Welcome to another episode of the Rising Women series. Today we have Kerrie Allison joining us. Kerrie worked for the British Airways and was travelling loads, and then completely changed her life 5 years ago on a path to a more holistic approach. Trained from Marissa Peer, who was the #1 UK therapist in the world and renowned author and speaker. Kerrie is a certified hypnotherapist, rapid transformational therapist, and natural health practitioner. She specialises in helping women and men struggling with anxiety and stress to regain their inner strength so that they can feel more confident and take control of their life and move forward. Welcome, so happy to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Obviously, we know each other quite well.
Yeah.
I know you've been into personal development and spirituality for a very long time as well. So take us back for you where you started on your journey, basically on that, and kind of tell the story of from where you've been to where you are now.
Okay, so I suppose my story with personal development and also natural health has come from my own ill health and the ill health of, my family, which caused me to kind of look at myself and start to go with it in and to start a healing journey myself. Because, I've had family members, my mum, my auntie, my uncle have all passed away from cancer, which is very sad. And then my own ill health, I had an inner ear infection, which really left me, I know my balance was off. I was just in a bad area, a bad space. And I couldn't I didn't want to be on medication for the rest of my life. And I went within to kind of start a healing journey, and I went down a natural route, which caused me to study. And it was like a whole Pandora's box opened up of ways that you can look after yourself naturally, and that going within was the only way for me to kind of bring balance back to my body.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So obviously we know you are a qualified hypnotherapist,
Yeah.
and rapid transformational coach and health practitioner. So talk us more through that journey.
Just learning about the body. We're not just our physical body. We're physical, mental, and we are emotional beings. So to bring balance back to your structure, to your body, you have to go within and bring balance on all those 3 levels. And that's the whole concept of why I learnt rapid transformational therapy, why I studied with Marissa Peer. That was to really help people to get to the root cause of their issues. So that was all to healing with the mind, and working with the natural health is all to heal with the body. And then emotional stress release, that is all healing your emotions, healing your heart. So then that's when we can bring balance back to all those 3 levels, which is the only way that really you're going to help bring the body back to flourish, really.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think as well, for me, I know obviously we've had sessions together, and that's definitely helped me in my journey. And it's, I'm still continuing to do that because obviously I've manifested things with my health that I've needed to, and I'm still on that journey to healing, obviously, because we pick up the things from childhood or our experiences, and sometimes we internalize that, and those emotions get trapped in the body, which can cause dis-ease. The body is in dis-ease. So I think it's really important work, and more people need to know about it, basically, because I think when you can work with your mind and the body at the same time through healing the internal, through nutrition and health and however you do it, but then also doing the inner work and the program needs to kind of combat that with the journey of healing. I think, it's just such amazing work. So I think as well, like when you work with your clients, kind of what does that look like for you?
So I usually do an intake session. So I have a 4 steps to transformational wellbeing program, which is Amazing. So it's obviously working on all those levels. The first step is to go through, you know, what is your imbalance? Why have you come here? What's been going on in your life? So you can tell me a little, well, not a little bit, a lot of it about, you know, your health, your symptoms, your emotions, what are your thoughts? Because predominantly, if your thoughts are negative and the words that you use for yourself or for others are negative, and your emotions are negative, and when I say negative, it's something, it's the body sending you a signal, a sign. So if you predominantly feel fear, or you feel anger, frustration, and that's held for a long period of time, you know, that's not going to promote wellness in the body. It's going to kind of, it's not going to give the body what it needs to thrive. And the same with your thoughts. If your thoughts are negative and you want health, but you're thinking, I'm not going to get well, you know, that's not for me. Or you're thinking, you know, I hate my life, I hate myself. And these are words that go around in your mind and the words that you use, your body's not going to thrive. So yeah, to bring that balance, I've lost my train of thought now, but to bring that balance back to that body, work with the mind, work with the emotions, and then the body will follow through. Because the mind and emotions the mind and the heart just send feedback loops to each other.
Yeah. Women watching this, all we having them light bulb moments right now of like, oh my God, like I'm resonating with everything you're saying. I know I'm that woman that says these negative thoughts to myself. I know like their brain and heart coherence, it's not really going on right now. So you have that recognition, and obviously it's a journey, because I do it as well, having that self-awareness. But specifically, what do you do to catch yourself in them moments when you're not being as kind to yourself as you could be?
I think you have to be aware. You have to be self-aware. You have to really have that connection with your own body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you know when you feel stressed? But people just carry on. They don't listen to themselves. They really just don't listen. You know when you're in a state of frustration, you know when you're in a state of anger, but you just carry on with that anger. You don't stop and say, okay, I feel angry because, why do I feel angry? And kind of acknowledge that anger and know where that's come from. Once it's acknowledged, it's able to kind of just, I know it's not as easy as saying it just leaves, but it really does. Quite often we have experiences in our life and we don't acknowledge what we're going through. And then it weighs heavy on the heart. And then the mind is constantly trying to get a solution. And then the body is just literally this vessel that follows through what the heart and the mind is communicating back and forth to each other. So if you have an experience that causes or that weighs heavy on your heart, it's important to address that. Don't keep going. And quite often, you know, when we talk about inner child healing, things can happen at such an early age that we don't really acknowledge. And then we carry that through our whole lives, and we're still reacting to something that happened when we were 7 years old.
Yeah.
You know, pain that came from whatever. And at 7, you know, our perception of what happens at 7 is not the perception of what happens when you're 37.
Yeah.
You know, 27, 47, 50, it's not the same. So with rapid transformational therapy, when we go into hypnotherapy, we go back to a scene that is all to do with the reason why you're angry. We're getting to that root cause of your anger. Oh yeah, because at 7, this happened to me, which made me feel like this, which caused me to create a belief. And at that time, at 7, it may serve you. But at later life, it can turn out to be a limiting belief. And then these limiting beliefs of fear, frustration, anger, then hold us back in life. They stop us from going forward. So yeah, inner child healing is one of the best things that we can all do. And it gets us to know where our triggers are, you know, why we react to certain situations, certain events.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a choice, because once you know at this particular age you made a choice. You're not made a choice. You had an experience. You understand it. Then when you at this age, you can turn around and say, okay, I understand that at 7 that was justified, but now it's not justified anymore. And then you can acknowledge it, and you can just walk away. You know, I'm not going to let that inner child now run my life at whatever age you're at now.
Yeah, I think you touched on the powerful thing, because I think so many of us just walk around and we're unconscious and we're not acknowledging our emotions. And the power is in the awareness, because when you have that awareness, you can bridge the steps of being conscious. And it's not necessarily controlling your emotions, it's acknowledging them and being conscious of them so you can direct them in the way that you want. So they're not controlling your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because then kind of life is living you, you're not living life. It's a series of one reaction to another, or something else is holding me back, or this is just who I am. You know, I'm just an angry person. No, you're not just an angry person. You know, or this is just who I am. Okay, well, that's fine, but is that serving you? We have choices that sometimes we just don't make. It is a choice to be this individual. It's a choice to, if it's serving you, then great. You know, there's some things that you probably learned from childhood that are serving you, but now they're not.
Yeah, and I think as well, you touched on so many vital points, because I know for me and myself and my journey, there was things I was like, I don't know who I am without this.
Yeah.
So many people don't know who, you know, if you've got pain in the body or something like this caused from childhood and it's manifested into physical form through not kind of acknowledging our emotions and kind of just suppressing it, we don't know who we are without that. So then it's like you say, having that choice to say, no, this is who I'm going to be now. And with inner child work, there's a lot of sometimes reparenting that has to happen in order to kind of emotionally mature the little girl in us. And definitely this is work I'm having to go through even myself, because I think inner child work is really important. Like, some of us haven't had really bad childhood experiences, but some people have. And sometimes you've got to ask yourself, am I running my life through my 7-year-old, or am I running my life through the adult me? You know, is this response coming from her, or is it just because of this? And those powerful questions really help you to start moving forward and taking more control of your life, I think, and taking that accountability and responsibility to say, no, I have choice, and this is what's going to happen from here on out. So just such powerful work.
Absolutely. And just having that belief that your life can change is a really, really big thing, because there is pain in the body. And I think people sometimes don't believe that that can come from an emotion.
Yes.
Or that can come from, it has to be a physical experience. Like, it can come from so many things. And this is why, you know, the wellness program that I do, there's many things that can go into the body, and this is your thoughts, your feelings, and the food that we consume play a massive difference in whether, you know, the body is going to thrive. And I always use that word thriving, because we can go day by day, or we can learn to thrive and to look well, to radiate this happiness and this wellness. And sometimes the food that we are consuming daily can keep us in a low vibration. They can cause that pain. So it's kind of like, I suppose I would say, like, detox for the mind, detox for the emotions, and detox, you know, for the body. Go in, if you want to see your body change, you want to see your body thrive, go in and detox on all those 3 levels. Get rid of the old.
Which is amazing, because it's having that full rounded balance, isn't it? Of, like, you know, the brain and heart coherence, but then also we have to think of our external environment and our internal environment. Like, they both play such an equal role in how you kind of go about your life. And a lot of people don't know this. They don't know that the foods that are eaten are really affecting, like, sometimes gut health and things like that. If we've got an imbalance, we don't realize that that's actually having an effect on our emotional responses as well.
Yeah.
It's just such interesting work. So for someone obviously who is very self-aware of all this stuff, and how do you kind of handle your day in your mindset and when things crop up for you based on experiences you've had?
So I try to, when I say try, I actually do. So I have a morning kind of routine where I'll do some meditation, some deep breathing, and that's my kind of time for me. I'm on my rebounder every morning, not for a long period of time. Now, people probably envision that I'm up and for 3 hours, I'm kind of on the rebounder and I'm meditating and all this. It's very, very small period of time, but it's kind of what I'm doing to promote wellness. I'll always have kind of living foods for breakfast, you know, breaking my fast from the night before. That's what breakfast is all about, breaking your fast. And you always break your fast with living foods, you know, warm water and lemon. And then I'll start my working day kind of answering emails or who are checking on who I've got booked in for the day, and making sure that I have a routine where I'm kind of taking time out in the day to disconnect from the laptop, from work, reconnect, because you can keep going. I'm sure we're all aware, you know, you get into something, you're like, that's it, and then it's kind of 4 o'clock already and you haven't even had lunch. It's kind of setting a routine for myself that, right, I'm gonna take some time out in the middle of the day. I might go for a little walk, come back, depending on whether I've got clients booked in. I am kind of flexible, you know, when you have your own business, that you are flexible. So but yeah, incorporating that time and then finishing that day, and also finishing the day on a positive.
And that's been so true to me, because as you both know, I'm up in Bristol right now, but that I can go and go and go if I really wanted to. So I actually have to force myself to either shut down the laptop, go for a walk, and then I was telling Leah the other day that I started meal prepping. But then I was using meal prepping as an excuse of dinner's done, so I can carry on working for a bit. So I was like, naturally, I'm going to stop meal prepping my dinner, because that's my anchor for winding down for the evening. I use prepping my dinner as, actually, yeah, this is time to switch off and wind down now, not go back to work. So I think we spoke about this with other women as well, that having a morning routine and evening routine is so important in setting yourself up today. Also giving yourself the flexibility to know if you don't want to do that, but also knowing the importance in a routine of how it can literally set you up to win, in the sense of your mind, how you feel, and all of that importance. So I think you've touched on such a like a powerful aspect there. Does it ever change for you, or is that your set?
Mostly that's my set, I would say. Definitely with the morning, and the evening kind of might, I do. So yeah, in the evening, so it will change where I do have that me time, definitely. Yeah. So it might be like a goddess bath or something like that.
Oh, wait, hold up a second.
Definitely having
That is a goddess bath. Talk us through this goddess bath.
I love a goddess bath. Don't you love a goddess bath?
Well, I do. Do you know what, right, guys? This is my auntie, right? But my other auntie, Rachel, she loves a goddess bath, and she always gets you the goddess baths for Christmas and your birthday. So I feel like I just need to shout her out for a moment. But yeah, talk us through your goddess baths, because I know it's like a whole pack. I will tag the company.
I love a goddess bath.
Absolutely love a goddess bath.
Actual.
So a goddess bath, it will incorporate Epsom salts, sea salts, might have a few crystals in there, definitely some candles. I use oils, essential oils as well, and I'll usually spritz some aura, kind of lavender or some rose water. I'll always put something in there. So it's that time to just unwind, and then I'll find some solfeggio frequencies and put that on, and just kind of just relax and just take that time out. Because with this therapy, I hear a lot from people, their inner thoughts, their darkest moments all come out in therapy, which I feel blessed that I'm able to help people through things that have happened to them in their lives. But it's important that I also nourish myself and let that kind of release from me, because and it's important for all therapists and natural health practitioners and anybody who's working, you know, you guys coaching people, you know, it's important that we're able to kind of release that, because you could carry that around with you. So that's why I do make that work-life balance time to kind of get out into nature, to walk, to have the goddess bath, or other things to enjoy my rebounding that keeps me healthy, that keeps my lymphatic system going, to eat good living foods. So yeah, it's important that you look after yourself whilst you're looking after others, I think. So yeah, I kind of stick with that. I do stick with it.
I want to bring it back to like your line of work, because you just mentioned there how you being a therapist, you get to share a lot with people, both on like a conscious level, energetic level, and like you have to keep yourself also aligned. What is the one thing that you find that is a recurring thing in your clients?
Good
So
question.
I think a lot of people watching this are like, we all can relate, we're all connected on a sense. What would you say is like a recurring pattern that you see a lot in your clients?
So I'd say a lot of clients will come to me and they'll say, so I feel this way and I don't have a clue why. Predominantly they want to get well, or they want to move forward in their life. They don't want to be the way they are, and they don't know why. They don't know where it's come from. So that is where the rapid transformational therapy is absolutely amazing, because it does get to the root cause of that issue. And it really just kind of gives the client their confidence back, their knowledge back, their understanding. And then they can kind of, oh, I understand. I absolutely understand now why, you know, I was angry. It gives them the chance to acknowledge that past hurt, that past pain. But yeah, predominantly people, they want to move forward, but they don't know how. They don't know why how they've got to where they are, you know, and they don't know how to get out of it. So kind of that's where I come in, where I'm able to help them to acknowledge their emotions, how they're feeling, you know, their thought patterns, get them to think differently, change their thinking, you know, release their emotions, and stick with a program that can help them with their wellness. So it's just, people do want to move forward in life. They just don't know how. They just need that help, I think.
And I think both me and Leah can say how we know how transformational this work is, because we've worked with you ourselves.
Yes, definitely. I know for me, I'm still obviously going through like my program and things like that, and I've done a lot of inner work to say, and the shadow work, as it's called, the darker kind of work that sometimes we have to go through. And I think we experience that at different levels in our life as well. Like, I don't know, for me, whenever I go to a new level in my life, there's always some more to kind of come to the surface to clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think even when I had my session with you, you can like kind of deflect, and you're like, sometimes you don't fully want to go there. And even as like a coach with me and Tia, like, and we know what we know, we help other people, sometimes we have to allow people as coaches to facilitate us as well. So it's just such important work. And then once you discover those blocks, obviously, because sometimes with coaching, that's what's amazing about it, and obviously with therapy and what you do, like, people can see the blocks we can't see. And that's why it's so important. You can be the best coach in the world, but sometimes you might still have a block that you just can't get to. So having someone else shine a light on that, really, it gives you a sense of like freedom as well. Because I just think you're like, oh wow, like, feel a little bit lighter. I'm now, because I think anyone that goes for coaching or therapy or anything like that, like, it's a big well done. Like,
absolutely.
Yourself now. Do you know what I mean? Like, pat yourself on the back, like you actually care about how you feel and what you're creating in your life. And that's what bridges that change, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, I still have therapy now. No different. I'm always working on self. Yes. Because it's like that onion layer. You peel off a layer and there is something else right behind it that needs to be healed. And you made a really good point there when you said people don't often want to go there, because it's painful. Who wants to rake up the pain from the past? However, once you have raked it up and healed it, it's amazing. It's like a cloud has been lifted from you and you're able to move forward. But sometimes you just think, oh, I'm going to have to go over this whole thing over and over again for weeks, months.
Yeah.
That's not the case with rapid transformational therapy. We get to the root cause, we change the perspective, or get you to understand the situation, why that belief was created at that particular time. Then we work on changing or making new neuro pathways. We work on the solution. We work on the positive. We change things. We work on how you want to be, not still focusing on the past.
Yeah.
So it is so important. I know it's scary for people. They don't want to often go to the past, but once you have addressed it, you free yourself. You really do.
Because I think as well with everything to do with like spirituality, and you know, sometimes we must think we must always be positive all the time, like we can't acknowledge the bad, otherwise we're going to continue to create the bad. But that's really just not how it is, because acknowledging stuff for us allows us to move forward and not create the things we continue to create because we don't acknowledge it. And I think that's a bit of the misconception, I think, sometimes with like the law of attraction and things like that, because people aren't shown like there are some onion layers you need to peel in order to allow you to go to that next level and your manifestations. And it doesn't have to take that long.
Yeah. I always say that anything that crops up that gives a high emotional reaction within you is an area for growth. Yeah. Just look at it as growth. You know, it's holding you back. It's stopping you from, you know, reaching your highest potential. We have a thought in our mind or something that we want. We want something to manifest for our future. And we think we're going to go from A to B and that's it. Great. It's going to, but no, often we have to go from A, you know, to C, to D, back to B. And there's obstacles on this road. No one said the path was going to be easy. Sometimes to get to where you need to go, you have to release some stuff that's been holding you back. Yep. So if something comes up and it's like, oh no, this is not happening for me, that's not always the case. It is happening, but this thing that has cropped up in your life needs to go before you can get to there. Don't always see it as a negative. I think when something crops up and we automatically think, oh, that's negative. It's not always negative.
Yeah.
Get rid of it and then keep on your journey, but always hold on to your intention. Always hold on to that goal. Keep going, keep going, keep going. If you fall down, you get back up. And that's what I say with, you know, with a wellness program. You fall down, there's a day when you had that chocolate bar. We've all been there. We're all human at the end of the day. Get back on it the next day. Forgive yourself. Move on.
Yes. Oh, yes. Forgiveness.
Forgiveness, massive.
Oh, huge. Absolutely huge. And I think for some people, I think we want to blame things on the outside and other people, what they've done to us, but really it's self-forgiveness.
Absolutely.
Is the key to enable us to move forward. And even when I going back to inner child work, when I was doing that, I was writing letters to my inner child and actually writing forgiveness letters, or just when anything was cropping up, writing, I forgive such and such for, and I'm forgiven for. And it is really freeing when you actually are like, no, actually, I am okay to forgive myself.
Yeah. And others, definitely.
Yes.
Forgiveness for others. It doesn't mean that you're condoning what they've done. Forgiveness is so freeing and is so important because everything is energy. You know, you're sending out that energy, it's going to come back to you. You know, if you are still angry with somebody, or you feel like you hate this person, you know, you send out that energy, it will come back to you, but you're not always sure in the form that it will come back. Energy is energy. It's almost you have to cut ties with that person and let their energy become their energy, because that's going to come back to them. Whatever they did to you will come back to them in some way, shape or form. So it's kind of, you forgive them, learn by what's happened, and keep going with your, you know, feeling good about yourself, or going within and healing yourself. It's not easy to forgive. it is a constant kind of, like you say, you write down, you do your scripting, and I forgive. And sometimes you're writing it down and you're actually like, hell no, I don't forgive this person. I'm just writing it down. But in time, you really start to connect with your heart and go, do you know what? I can forgive them.
Yes.
I can forgive them, not for them, but for me. Because I don't want to hold this in me anymore. I want to move on from this. I want to keep going and live my best life. Because that energy of hate is going to come back to you. And I always say, and I've had to experience this in my life, don't let someone else's karma become your karma.
Yes. I think you've touched on some amazing things there. The journey's the destination. Have the trust in yourself to not be hard on yourself. And also, when someone cuts you off in traffic or something happens, that doesn't have to become my energy. I can let that go.
Love and light.
But you see it, don't you? When you go down, somebody cuts you up, and then next thing down the road, you're like, hi.
Like, you have a choice, and I think you've touched on big things. Like, everything that we do in life it's down to us, but we have that choice. Where if someone cuts you off, someone's done something to you, like, you don't have to let that become a part of you. You don't have to embody that energy, that vibe. That someone can cut you up, and then you're like, okay, that's not mine. I'm not taking that on.
Yeah.
It's the same with forgiveness. Like, you are forgiving someone for you. It's like, and I always think of the analogy of forgiveness when you don't forgive someone. It's like having poison, drinking the poison, and expecting it to hurt the other person. Like, just
I love that you brought that up, because I was exactly going to bring up that quote.
You're in tune, ladies.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite quotes. It's like anything like that, those lower vibrational emotions, I think more so in like resentment and all those kind of things. Like, it is like drinking the poison yourself and expecting that other person to die. And I just love that analogy. There's another one I love to say as well all the time, like, when people have to want to change themselves, like, you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't
make them
drink. And I just love that.
Really, I'm the guide, not the ride. Like, it's all coming out. And I think in our line of work, being coach therapist, people have to, number one, take responsibility for where they are. And we spoke about this recently of like, taking responsibility doesn't have to be being hard on yourself. It can literally just be having that awareness that you want to change.
Yeah. Taking that first
step. As well, Kerrie, another thing, do you ever have clients that come to you and, like, obviously they take that first step to change, but then they keep coming back, but they're not actually doing the work? Do you ever experience anything like that? Or most people forthcoming with actually wanting to change?
People do, predominantly when you're investing in yourself, they really are at a point that they want to change. So they do listen, and I can probably be the kindest person, and I'm always happy to listen to everybody, but I will push people as well. I'm like, do you really want this? Yes or no? Because we can do the work, but if you don't put any effort, so you can understand that why you are doing a certain thing, so why you're hurting your body by consuming low vibrational foods or something like that, we call it low vibrational foods, but they keep doing it. So do you want this change or not? Because I can push you as much as you want to go.
Yeah.
So predominantly people will stick to it. It's kind of that longevity thing though. Everyone falls off, don't they? I think it's having that accountability partner or that coach. And I suppose with myself, I can take people so far, with the rapid transformational therapy, with the natural health, but they do need coaches like yourself to get them to keep going after. So they know what they have to do. It's important to have people who are going to push you, like-minded people. Find your tribe, whichever way, wherever you can. Having coaches, getting people around, even joining a gym, because sometimes the people around you can be holding you back.
Yeah.
Oh, I think, yeah. How have you found that to be true? Because obviously it has been a journey. I know for both me and Leah, that having that like-minded community to not only hold you accountable, but just be like a support network. And obviously we are very blessed because there's a lot of people in our family that are on like the same personal development journey.
Yeah.
How have you found it being, you get into that point of, do you know what, I need to change my life, but you're always having to be that person that has that awareness, and you're not necessarily surrounded by people that are on the same wavelength. For women watching this, because I know this is a big one, how do you cope with that from a standpoint of
It's not always easy, and I would encourage anybody to just find your tribe, find people around who you can support you. I remember I did a big detox, and I went to Florida and I've studied with Dr. Morse, who is a naturopathic doctor, and he is big on detoxification, and I've used his herb and I've been on his herbal protocol, and I lost a lot of weight. And of course, everybody around me was like, Kerrie, you're losing too much weight. I felt alive. I felt the best I've felt in a long time. They were like, you're so skinny. We stop what you're doing. And I was like, oh no, people. And I had to go and find the people. I was lucky that I was studying natural health then, so I was very much in my zone, and the people who I went to college with were very supportive of me. But this was something new for the people around me.
Yes.
So it was a big change within me. So I had to be strong. And I suppose I am a strong person and would just follow my own heart. And this is what I knew that I wanted to do at the time. And I loved it. And, you know, I did have the support from the other students at the college. So I did have my tribe, but it's not easy. And sometimes you have to go to YouTube, go to Instagram, find people who are on the same level, find people who want to do exactly what you, and learn from them. And also, you know, they can be your support. They'll be happy to support you. They probably want support themselves. So yeah, you have to sometimes go and look for it, and you really have to be determined, because I could have fallen off at any point and said, oh, okay, I'll listen to them. But I achieved my goal. And then people were like, oh, well, actually.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what people are like.
Yeah.
We are like that because sometimes we're not going to agree with everyone's choice, and people aren't going to agree with us, but we all have our inner guidance system, higher being, whatever you want to call it. Like, we all know the answers within us. And I think, especially when you're studying something, you know what's right for you, even if the people around you aren't agreeing with it. And it's such a funny thing that when they see you having a massive, amazing change within yourself, and it's, you know, on a great scale, they're just like, oh, well, yeah, great.
Then it's like, what did you do? What herbs were you on?
Exactly.
It was always like, okay, yeah. So sometimes you do have to step out, and it's not always easy. But there is one key point, and it's about trusting your gut feeling, which I think is so, so important. And this is where I have fallen off in the past. And it's now what helps me to be more determined. I trust my gut feeling, which is, again, connecting with the heart, connecting with what your heart is saying to you. And because I went against it, and it was a real, you know, it didn't serve me, now I follow that gut feeling and I just keep going. So even if some people are saying you shouldn't do it, if my heart says yes, do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, if everyone listened to everyone around them, would be doing nothing.
It's true.
Some people, you know what I mean, you wouldn't be out achieving your dreams, or, you know, maybe starting a business, going out on your own, this kind of thing. You know, because we're in society, we think we should be tied to a 9-to-5 job. Some people, you know, a lot of us are now wanting to be more entrepreneurial and have our own businesses and things like that, which, you know, we've got all that opportunity nowadays, haven't we? But, you know, one thing that we love to ask everyone that we've been interviewing is, for women wanting to rise and reach their truest potential, what would you say is the key factor in helping them to move forward?
Go within. 100% go within, connect, have a relationship with yourself. Find out who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what agrees with you, what doesn't agree with you. Just always go within. If you want healing, you want growth, whatever it is you are looking for, go within to change your external. Just always go within for your healing, for everything. Definitely. That would be.
I truly agree. I totally agree with that. I think it's always an inside job.
Absolutely.
To try and change anything externally, we have the power within.
Yeah. If you don't like what's reflecting back to you in your external environment, you go straight within. Whatever it is, the way somebody speaks to you, experiences you have, just go within and say, do I do that? So is that something that I fear? Is that something I judge? Is that something I do? On some of those levels, it's going to resonate. You'll know when it resonates with you, when it's, yeah, actually, is that something that I fear? Yeah, I fear that that's going to happen to me. Or, yeah, I do that. I speak to myself like that. So then, so go within, yeah, heal it on those levels, and it will just go away, because the universe doesn't come up to you and says, Tia and Leah, stop doing this. It sends signs, it sends signals, in different ways. It reflects back to you your innermost thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So look from, if it's not serving you, reflecting back to you, go within and change it.
Cool.
Couldn't agree with that more. I think that's beautiful.
That's a mic drop, can I just say?
Definitely a mic drop.
It's definitely.
I have absolutely loved talking to you. Before Leah asks you the last question, where can our community find you?
Okay, so just remember Kerrie Allison. KerrieAllison.com, or Kerrie Allison Instagram, Kerrie Allison Facebook. And you'll find me there. You'll find ways to book a discovery call with me, and we'll get to the root cause of what's been going on. So yeah, just remember my name. And
remember my name. Isn't that a song as well? That's a song.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is amazing, and we'll link that all down below. So the final question I have for you is, who, or if it's a collective of people, it doesn't have to be people, it could be anything you've watched or read, what has been the most influential or impactful part of your journey? Who's been that most influential, impactful person for you? Or it doesn't have to be a person, or it can be a collective.
Oh wow, there is so many. I mean, when you asked me that question, the first name that popped up into my head was Dr. Morse, his herbal healthcare. He's an amazing man, absolutely amazing, and it changed. It helped me heal my physical body. I suppose if I look at it on all three levels, which I'm going to, definitely Marissa Peer, amazing. Studying rapid transformational therapy with Marissa Peer was the icing on the cake for me. It was what I needed to help people holistically. I love for emotions like Gaia, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, all of those, Hot Math. Just, there's so many people. I feel like I'm collecting an award. I'd like to thank.
Why not? You take it. You take the award.
Yeah, so there's so many people, but Dr. Morse really did help just to promote wellness in my physical body.
Yeah,
his herbs are amazing, and it's the whole detoxification. Detox your mind, detox your emotions, and detox your physical body, and you will definitely bring balance back to your body 100%. And I'm living proof of that.
They are amazing teachers.
No dispenser.
Sure. Yeah, another key one as well. Some people doing some amazing work, and I think you just have to see, it's like exploring it for yourself and seeing who resonates with you and taking it from there, really. But thank you so much for today. I know the women in our community are really going to benefit from everything that you shared and the conversations we've had, so we can't wait to share.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the bell icon and like and comment so you never miss another video. You can find all of our links in the description box, and we will see you in the next episode.